If you clicked on this video, you're probably looking to make that late night drive, old school weekend Drake, Bryson Tiller type of R&B vibe. Well, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down a beat that I made and sharing with you guys exactly how I created this beat right here. Let's jump right into it. I started with this key synth sound from Serum 2 that I got from Splice. Actually, Splice has some fire Serum presets. You should definitely check those out. I like to come into the effects tab up here and just kind of mess with some of the effects on the preset. I turned off the delay right here. This reverb is really good. I like to just come in here and mess with some of the knobs. I came up with this chord progression right here. I'm gonna let you guys hear how it sounds first, and then I'll explain what I did. So we're in the key of G sharp minor right here. You can see we don't reach the 1 chord until the last 2 bars of this 8-bar loop. I've got the 4 chord right here, the 5, back to the 4, and then the 1. These are all 7th chords, by the way, which means that I added the 7th note of each chord scale to the top, not this one actually. But if you don't know what a 7th chord is, basically it's a triad chord with the 7th note from the root note of whatever chord you're playing. So this is the root, we've got the 3rd, the 5th, and then this is the 7th because it's the 7th note in the scale away from this root note right here. When you're making R&B type of music, you need to use chord inversions. So the 7th, the 9th, the 11th, just anything more than just the basic triads. So like I said, this is the 4 chord, the 5 chord. We go back to the 4 in the second half, and then instead of going back to the 5 for this last half, I actually made it the 1 chord so we can travel down to the root before we repeat back over here. I did leave this note up here the same as the second half of the first 4 bars, just to kind of create some familiarity, but there's a different chord underneath it. And then this A sharp right here is just kind of like a passing note to create some variation that gets us back to this 4 chord that we started with. Really quickly, the rest of this video is crazy, but you know what's even crazier? 95% of you guys that watch these videos aren't subscribed, and that's totally fine. But now that I have you here, go down and hit the subscribe button for me. It will help me out a ton. Let's get back into the video. The next sound that I added was this one shot from my Soulsonics multi-kit, and the way that I used it was actually pretty unique. It's the same pattern that I used in the last sound, but as you can see, I have these slide notes up here that are creating some melody. If you don't know what a slide note is, basically in FL Studio, you can come up here and select this little button, and then you can add notes that will slide, and then you can adjust the length to see how short or long you want the note to slide. And you're probably wondering why these notes are white and some of them are blue. In FL Studio, I don't know about other DAWs, but the color of each MIDI note actually matters when you're working with slide notes. If the note that I'm trying to slide was blue like the rest of the chord, these slide notes would actually slide the entire chord. So here's an example of what it would sound like if all the notes in the chord were blue and so was the slide note. Doesn't sound bad, but listen to when I change the color of the top note and the slide note. You can hear that it only slides this note like I was saying, and then the rest of the chord keeps playing underneath it. So now that you know how that works, this is the pattern that I came up with. And for the effects on that, since I have a lot of low end coming from the pad sound from Serum, I cut out a lot of lows in this pad sound and I boosted up some of the highs. And then I added this reverb right here, 50% mix on a 3-second decay, cutting out some lows and highs. Next, I added this vocal chop from Splice. I threw it in a Fruity Slicer channel right here. I sliced it up by beat, which just means every quarter note there's a new chop. And this is the pattern that I came up with. It has like a dance music type of vibe to it with that pumping effect, and these are the effects that I put on that. I added this compressor to kind of smooth out some of the volume. This plugin right here is sauce. I accidentally opened it up the other day when I was making beats. It's a stock FL plugin. It's called Effector. It's got all of these different effects right here. I'm not too sure how the grid works, but basically wherever you drag it on here kind of determines how much or how little of the effect you're getting on the actual sound. I'm still messing around with this plugin, but I've used it a lot since I accidentally accidentally opened it the other day. Underneath that, magic switch for a widen chorusy effect. And my favorite reverb, again, a little bit of mix on it, 1.5 second decay, taking out a lot of lows and a lot of highs. This is what the vocal sounds like with all those effects. And the last sound that I put on this sample was this synth bass from my Soulsonics multi-kit. This synth bass is fire and it's perfect for that late night R&B vibe. Putting all those sounds together gets me this sample right here. When it comes to the drums in these type of beats, I like to use different type of sounds that have a lot of texture that still hit hard. When it comes to the actual patterns of each sound, it's very simple. As you can tell, there's a lot of gaps of space, especially down here in the kicks. This is intentional. I like the drums to breathe so that the melody can kind of drive most of the beat and just give you that floating feel that creates that late night drive bounce. If you just had a bunch of drums playing 24/7 throughout the beat, it would be kind of annoying and just unrelaxing. So going from the top down, just going through each one of these sounds so you can hear them. We've got this open hat right here. Got a nice crunch to it. This reverse hat that leads into some of the snares. This hi-hat pattern that's pretty wide open with some rolls here and there. This snare that has a lot of bottom, which I really like. This rim sound that has like a distorted texture. It's almost like a knocking sound. It's not your typical rim. This is like an accent kick that I added on top of just the regular kick. It sounds like this. It's got like a little bit of a boomy effect to it. I really like the way it sounded. And then just this regular kick that is not playing much at all. Together, all the drums sound like this. A little bonus tip with the way I mix these drums. So I like to route all of my drum sounds to a drum bus, and then on different mixer tracks, I like to add different effects, and then just route the drum channel as a whole to the effects tracks by clicking these arrows right here. This just makes them ascend. We've got drum verb using the effector plugin. I'm just using this because, like I said, I'm still messing with it and I just found it and it's fire. And then using the same plugin, I have the stereo effects selected, and then I'd like to come to the drums channel and then just use this knob to turn up and down the mix. Drums wide gives a lot of width to the drums without messing up the actual sounds, because you're using it as ascend instead of putting it on the drum channel. It's sauce if you ask me. If this video was short, it's because these beats are super simple. Like I said, I like the melody to drive just to create that floating effect. You don't want the drums to be too busy, but you want them to be unique with texture and effects. I'm gonna play you the final beat right now. I appreciate you for watching this far into the video. Let me know down in the comments if you learned anything, make music today, and subscribe for more.